Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, we are going to be predicting the All Blacks starting lineup for their second test up against the Pumas. It is myself. I have got Rugbyitch with me, mate. First match didn't quite go the way that the ABs would have wanted, although you were smiling ear to ear when you found out the news.
I was loving it, to be perfectly honest, guys. As you guys know, I love an underdog, and I was definitely sure. Oh, you can maybe see the All Blacks were maybe an underdog in that game because Pumas were above them, but no, I have to be perfectly honest here. Pumas are definitely on the underdog going into that game, and yeah, I was definitely happy at the end of the day that they won. But at the same time, when someone hemisphere nation is down in the lumps like the All Blacks are currently, you want them to persevere and obviously get back into winning form. So hopefully they can do that this game.
The last game, it was played at Orange Theory Stadium. This game at FMG Stadium in the North Island. So maybe we see a few more Chiefs players making their ways into our lineups. But first of all, front row, who have you got as your 1, 2, 3?
Well, yeah, for my front row for this All Blacks game, for the second test, I've stuck with Ethan de Groot at number 1. I've gone with Sami Sande Tukalauho at number 2. And I have stuck with Tyrell Lomax at number 3. So I have gone with the same front row I believe it went with in that first test against the Pumas. So it's a tough call, but I actually think one of the strongest areas actually of the All Blacks in these recent games actually has been that front row because they've actually been very impressive in terms of that scrum. So in all honesty, I think you really can't change that at this moment.
So we had a bit of a chat before this video recording, and I said that I had made some pretty bold changes to the All Blacks, and the front row is where they start. Number 1, Aiden Ross, Chiefs homeboy. Ooh. He's going to be in my starting lineup. He's good with the scrum, which is somewhere that the All Blacks really need to assert their dominance up against the Pumas throughout this match. Number 2, I've gone Samisoni Taukei'aho, the inform hooker in New Zealand. I don't see them going Cody Taylor or Dane Coles in that starting lineup just because Taukei'aho has been that solid. And then number 3, also a Chiefs player, I've actually given Angus Ta'avale the start for myself. I've decided to go with an all Chiefs front row. They did it similar with the Crusaders off the bench in the last match. So I decided to give an all front row for the Chiefs. And also Ian Foster, he's got a soft spot for the Chiefs, so he'll have a little word in there saying maybe we should have a couple more of those Chiefs players making their way into the side. But now we move on to the locks. Number 4, I've gone Sam Whitelock. Number 5, Scott Barrett. I decided to stick with the same as what they used last week. I'm still not sure about Barrett at 5 and Whitelock at 4. I feel like they should be the other way around in preparation for when Brodie Retallick returns and takes that number 4 spot. And then more than likely they'll go Whitelock as number 5. But I've decided to stick with what they would go with in the locking duo.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Yeah, similar to you, I have gone with the same locking duo there. I've gone with Whitelock at number 4, and I've gone with Scott Barrett at number 5. Yeah, I also agree that, you can kind of switch those two around if you wanted to, but I believe, they're kind of best suited towards those two positions. If Brodie Retallick was in, I think we mentioned this before, he's actually better suited towards the 4, and Whitelock can shift towards the 5. But because Barrett, has to be included, I think he's better at the 5 position. So, yeah, that's how I've gone with the locks as well.
But now we move on to loose forward trio. Have there been any changes in this department? We've hardly seen any changes from the ABs in this loose forward trio throughout the season. Is it working, and is it what you've gone with?
I'll be honest, I have made one change from what I normally have, because I normally go with Akira Ione to start for me, but I've come to the terms that Shannon Frizzell has really come into his own really within these last few games for the All Blacks. One of the few players actually, I believe, who's kind of improved within these last few games with Ian Foster. So yeah, I have to go with Shannon Frizzell number 6. For number 7, I have stuck with Sam Cane, which is yeah, you just got to, really. But you got to for this point in time. But maybe in the future that maybe changes. You never know. But yeah, like I said, for number 8, Otis Villa at number 8.
Okay, so the same as myself. Shannon Frizzell looked very strong throughout that last match. About 40 meters carried, I believe. Also put in a couple big hits on the Pumas. Sam Cane, number 7, like you said, you've got to go with him. And unfortunately, it's not what anyone wants to go with, but it's what they will go with, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So because they are going to be sticking with him more than likely, I'd love to see Dalton Papali'i get a crack. I'd love to see Savia maybe transition to 7 and Satutu get a crack at number 8. But they are going to go with Sam Cane more than likely as that open side flanker. And then number 8, I've given it to Ardie Savia as well. I feel like he's strong enough at the moment that he's almost carrying the 8 and 7 spot all by himself. So he is going to be there as my number 8. Now we move on to our 9 and 10 combo. For me, number 9, I have stuck with Aaron Smith. A lot of experience there. Hopefully a little bit more precision in that backline for the ABs this week than they did have last week, because Argentina, they were just all over them. But I think that was the handling errors as well of the ABs that did cause them to give that ball up a bit easy. And then number 10, he had a bit of a mixed bag in that first test match, but I've decided to stick with him, and that is Richie Mo'unga.
Yeah, Mo'unga had I do definitely agree with you that he had a mixed bag performance in that game for the first test against the Pumas. But yeah, like you said, I have stuck with Aaron Smith for the same reasons, just, experience. And at the end of the day, I feel like, he has his on and off days now. I come to terms that he's kind of having that now. We all know him as arguably one of the best scrum halves ever, in history. But he is aging slightly, and he's going to have those performances where he has an on and off day. So, but for this one, I believe he's going to have an on day, hopefully. So that's the reason why I've gone for number 9. And for number 10, I have stuck with Mitch Mo'unga at the number 10 position.
Although they have also mentioned that Bowden Barrett is now cleared and ready to play. So maybe they decide to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Barrett can find his way back into that lineup. But now we move on to the centers. Number 12, I have made a big change here. David Havili, I feel he did decently in that last game, but if it's not going to be in this game, I'm not sure when I see this man getting the opportunity. RTS, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Wow, I like that.
Starting number 12. And then on his outside, who else could it be other than his Blues teammate, Rico Ioane? So I've got a Blues midfield, Tuivasa-Sheck. Maybe he just has that little bit of something extra that the All Blacks are needing. He's played very well in the Bunnings EBC. He had his debut, actually managed to get himself a very good game under his belt. So why not see if he can replicate it at international level?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that selection a lot, of course, with RTS and Rico. Good Blues combination there, which I especially like as a Blues fan. But yeah, of course, for my center combination, I have actually gone with a different 12 to you, and different to what the All Blacks have selected recently with Havili. I've actually gone with Quinn Tupaia here, which is a bold call to say the least, but I have gone with him for the purposes of, one, we're playing with in Hamilton. I feel it's a good place for him to kind of get back into that starting lineup. 2, I believe it's kind of a good opportunity for him to kind of get back into this team with Havili. That combination kind of having a bit of a weak point, I'd say, particularly against that Argentinian center duo, which kind of surprised me actually, because it's really 2 13s who were playing. I think it was Orlando who played at that 12 spot, and he actually played that very well. So I don't know how he didn't come across. I don't know how Havili didn't kind of do better in that position. But yeah, I believe Quinn Tupaia can maybe justify for that. And yeah, same as you, I have to stick with Rico Ioane. He's just an unbelievable player, and yeah, you got to keep him. You got to keep him. So yeah, that's my center duo.
See, I think you might be right with Quinn Tupaia as the number 12, just because, like you mentioned, FMG Stadium, it's home turf. I think he's going to have a decent crack if he does get that start with David Havili. Maybe missing out. But now we move on to the back 3, number 11, 14, and 15. Who have you got in those 3 positions?
Yeah, no, I've made some changes here for sure. I think this is kind of the area which I've made the most changes in terms of this this backline at least. But I have stuck with Caleb Clark at number 11 because I believe he's the one where you can't really change because he's actually done pretty well in that position so far. And again, I thought he did pretty well from the Argentina game. Just didn't get much of the ball as we would like, but still I think he can have a good game, as I do believe he's kind of suited towards his Pumas side. For the 14, I have actually gone with Sever Reece here. So I have actually reverted back towards Sever Reece because I feel like I've always gone on this guy just to be at the position, but I just believe he is one person who he's just too vital towards his All Blacks when they actually play well, and he's just so good with the turnovers. I mean, I keep saying it, but he's just I'm just so amazed, but also just like I'm just like, jeez, like this guy, he has a talent for it. So I feel like he has to be within that squad and then that starting 15. But yeah, to finish it off, I have gone with Will Jordan at 15. I believe it's time. I really do believe this is the opportunity for them to go with Will Jordan. I keep doing this and I keep putting him in the starting 15 spot. They just never do it. But I don't know why, but I have a bit of confidence maybe going into this one because I don't believe Jordie Barrett had the best game, particularly. And you were saying a stat earlier on as well, like where he only had like one tackle. Like it's unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they do that or not. But yeah, I preferably would like Will Jordan in that position. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if the All Blacks can have the guts to make that call.
Because once again, Will Jordan underutilized on the wing in that first match up against Argentina. He only touched the ball a few times, which really wasn't enough with a player of his caliber. But looking through at the 3 that I've gone with at the back, number 11, I have stuck with Caleb Clark. Like you mentioned, he seems to be the informed winger at the moment. So I decided to keep him there in the starting lineup. Number 14, I have got Sever Reece as my number 14 option. I feel like he is more suited to that right wing than Will Jordan is, which is a bold statement because Will Jordan has been very good, but Sever Reece, he's been able to do it throughout Super Rugby Pacific. He has got it in his arsenal, and also, like you mentioned, that turnover game could be massive for the ABs if he does get it right. And then number 15, I mentioned it on my live stream. I said I was going to do this because I felt this man didn't get the opportunity he deserved. And it was a little bit of a rough debut, let's be honest. 40 seconds when your team is defending, and it just didn't give him that opportunity. So for me, number 15 for the All Blacks, for the first time, he is going to be starting, and that is Stephen Perofeta.
I love that. I hope it happens. Hope it happens.
So those are our starting lineups. Now we move on to the reserves. 16, 17, 18. Who are your front row replacements?
Yeah, for the front row replacements, I have gone to the likes of, Cody Taylor at number 16. Just believe, he's kind of the good backup choice there. I haven't gone with Dan Coles, but I feel like Cody Taylor could be more useful, I'd say, within this game coming around. But for the number 17 position, I have gone with George Bauer once again. I did select him last time, so I have kind of stuck with him in that position. And to finish it off, I have actually gone with Fletcher Newell this time. So I actually thought that Crusaders kind of trio actually could actually work a bit. So maybe that's something that they kind of utilize in the future within these upcoming games. But we'll have to wait and see if that works or not.
Okay, so number 16, I have gone Dane Coles. I feel Cody Taylor at the moment isn't in his best form we have ever seen. So because of that, Dane Coles, I think, will be the backup option. Got a lot of experience. Also brings a little bit of that extra feistiness into the ABs, which is kind of what you need up against a passionate Pumas side. Definitely if they do find themselves in the lead. Number 17, I've gone George Bauer again. Felt he had some very good carries off the bench in the short time that he was out there on the field. So hopefully he can do that again. And then number 18, I have got Tyrell Lomax. So I've ditched Fletcher Newell out of my starting lineup or reserves. Same with Ethan de Groot. Gone with a little bit more experience here for the second test up against the Pumas. But now we move on to the rest of the replacement forwards. Number 19, he has only recently come back from his injury. Did play for Hawke's Bay in the last weekend, and that is Brodie Retallick as my number 19. And then number 20, I have given it to Dalton Pavali, even though he doesn't seem like they're giving him much of a crack in the starting lineup. I think that is something that they should certainly consider, because that's the other thing. With Dalton Pavali, I don't want it to be a Lachlan Boshier 2.0, because if he's not getting the cracks for the AB, same with Hoskins Tutu, same with Stephen Perofeta, if they're not getting the chance, they'll be heading over to Japan, making a whole heap of money, and then they won't be able to get them back. Narila Mape, another perfect example of what happens when you aren't able to secure someone. And the moment, Narila Mape in the midfield wouldn't be the worst thing the ABs could have.
I would love that if he was still available. But like you, I was also a bit disheartened when I saw the news he went to Japan. But he could have been a heck of a player for the All Blacks. But anyway, for the rest of the forwards I have selected, I have actually gone with Tupa Valai instead of Brodie Retallick here, which may be a big call because with Retallick back now in the kind of availability. I feel like Tupa Valai is just someone that I have a lot more trust in, and we are playing with Hamilton as well, so another reason why. But for the last one as well, for the last forward, I have gone to Lex and Tilton Papali. I want to go Akira here, but it's just one of those where probably, he has to get some more game time really for this All Black side, and at this point in time, I think he should be starting. But I guess my opinion is slightly different towards Ian Foster, but Dalton Papali has to be involved somehow. So, he's on my bench.
I think about 98% of New Zealand agree with you that Dalton Papali should be having a crack. Either that or Artie Savia at 7 seems to be only about a 2% at the moment for Sam Cane. And they're probably from Hamilton, seeing as this game is at FMG Stadium. But now looking through at the back replacements, have we got any massive changes from what we saw last week up against Argentina here?
I was actually to make one big change here, but I have made a change. I have made one big change, but with the number 21 position, I have gone with the likes of Finlay Christie here. So I have stuck with Finlay Christie ahead of Falaa Fakatava, as I just don't know if he's able to play in this game or not. But I have a lot of trust in Christie, so I've gone with him in that position. For number 22, I have gone with Bowden Barrett here, just in case he is available in time for this game, because I originally did have Stephen Perofeta in this position, but yeah, just I feel like, with Beauden Barrett maybe in the wings, I feel like it's right to put him in that spot. And then of course to finish it off, I actually have gone with RTS in here as well, as kind of a backup center, and just in case Quintapaya or even like Reiko doesn't work, you can kind of make a lot of switch in that area. So yeah, it'll be fascinating to see if that works or not. But yeah, it's another week where I don't go with Jordy Barrett, but I don't know why I have something against this guy, but yeah, no, RTS is my final player.
It's actually quite interesting, isn't it? The same week, after about 5 weeks of us not doing it, we both have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in the lineup.
Exactly.
And it's as if it's like we both feel now is the time, if there's ever a time, to be able to get that man in the team. For me, I have gone number 21, Folau Fakatava. I did leave Christie out, but that is because I feel Fakatava late in a game, he's just got that impact that he brings to the Highlanders, how he can change a game. He can make those meters around the side of the breakdown and throw a lot of unorthodox plays at the opposition. Number 22, Beauden Barrett. He is going to be my guy at number 22, mainly because he has got that fly half cover, and also, depending on what they decide, maybe he gets around 30 minutes or so, unless it's going to be like 10 minutes at the end of the game as well. It would be a bit of a reversal, wouldn't it, if it's 10 minutes at the end of the game, if they're already losing, and then they'll expect him to change the game, just like they did for Richie Mo'unga. But now, looking at my number 23, I have got Will Jordan there. I've got a little bit of logic behind that. I'm thinking you give Perifeta the first 60 minutes, give Will Jordan the last 20 at fullback, so that he gets a little bit of time there, so that they can see how effective that man will be when he does move there in the future. So I've got a lot of changes. I'll be honest, this week I am the least confident out of any week that I've had throughout our predictions, but I decided I needed to make some serious changes. I think the All Blacks, they should consider some of those ones that we have both made. Nonetheless, we will get to wait and see who is closest, and they are going to be announced in the side on the Thursday. Once it is announced, we'll have the video of the lineup going up on the channel as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's going to be a hectic weekend of rugby. As you can hear, my voice still hasn't recovered from last weekend with the amount of intense action that we did get to see. At the moment, South Africa and New Zealand, they are sitting 3rd and 4th. So they will both want to promote themselves up in the Rugby Championship a little bit further. But thank you very much once again, Rugbyitch, for coming on the channel. You can find his link in the description for his YouTube channel as well. But thank you all very much for being here, and we will see you all for the next one.